Welcome to Pitch Tank. This is probably one of my favorite things. We've actually got 3 rooms going on in concurrence with people pitching their products that they've built and how they're serving dealers. I'm excited because I have some incredible people next to me that I'll let introduce here in just a second. But just so you know the format, these people that are pitching have 3 minutes. I am going to hold them to a strict standard of 3 minutes. And even if they are mid-sentence, I will yell, scream, and if you want to put a timer on too and everybody yell, I think that would be really, really funny. But what will happen next is these 3 incredible judges will get the opportunity to ask them a few questions about their product, how they service it, what their growth plans are, all those types of things. After about 7 to 10 minutes of those questions and answers, they will vote as well as you will vote. So what I need everyone to do really quickly is if you haven't downloaded the app, download the app. If you have downloaded the app, jump in there, go to the agenda screen for me. I see a lot of people still looking at me. Go to the app. You got to go to the app. Get in the app. Go to the agenda screen. One of the first few things there will be your Studio One agenda. In that Studio One agenda, there'll be 3 polls that are already set to go live, and you'll be able to vote directly in there with a score. That audience score will be combined with our judges' score, and the winner of this room's pitch tank will be pitching live on the main stage this afternoon. Our goal for how you judge this is on 4 characteristics. 1, innovation and uniqueness. So how unique is this product in the marketplace? 2, what you think the actual market impact may be. 3, the customer value. So both customer value, meaning the dealer, but also the end user value. And then lastly, and I think this is one that maybe you might not be thinking about, but I want you to think about the actual pitch, okay? This is as much for the people that are in the room that may or may not want to buy or collaborate with these partners, but also for these 3 innovators and prodding them to pitch their products better. Because if they do that, then we can speed up innovation in the market, okay? So those are the judging criteria. I want to go ahead and let these 3 introduce themselves, who they're with, and maybe why they're here. But first of all, thank you again to Clairvoy for partnering with us to make sure that this room could have content for you, and to the Shop by Ford Direct for partnering with us to spur on innovation and make sure that these pitch tank participants could be here and not have to pay us to pitch, which is a great plan, right? Or even with a ticket. We gave you guys free tickets, right? Yeah, exactly. Something like that. They're like, I don't know about that. So let's just go down the line real quick. Introduce yourself, who you're with, and maybe just like a sentence or 2 on why you wanted to be a part of this.
Sure. Chase Fraser. I run a fund called FM Capital. We do all automotive technology investing. We just closed a $240 million round, so super excited about that. We manage...
That's a lot of money.
It is. It's fun. It's actually a lot more than we thought we were going to close, which was good news. So we manage about $550 million.
Okay. Beth Hill, Ford Direct. Ford Direct is a joint venture between Ford Motor Company and the dealers. And we have just celebrated our 25th anniversary of being the dealer's trusted advisor. I am here on behalf of our newest way of serving dealers, which is the Shop. And we are curating trusted solutions for dealers to innovate further. So super excited to be here today and sponsor of the Pitch Tank.
My name is Chris Twohig. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Holiday Automotive, a dealership group in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. We sell about 625, 650 cars a month in a community of 44,000 people. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. All right, let's get after it. I'm going to introduce it. We just put this in alphabetical order. That's the only way that we could think to do it in this room. So we have autoZnetwork or autoZnetwork. How do you say it? Where's Colin? AutoZnetwork. So he's going to come to the stage first, then we'll have DriveitAway. And Toma, he has a clicker. He has a mic. We'll let you get set. Wait till Nathan gets in the back to make sure that the right thing is up. Are we good, Nathan?
Yeah, you feel? Click ahead 2, Colin, you should be good.
Sitting next. Click ahead 2.
All right.
And 3 minutes starts now.
Hi, my name is Colin Peterson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of autoZnetwork. We are an API-powered, AI-driven, all-in-one inventory program built for dealers, groups, and for the OEMs. We sit this is a diagram of where we sit. We sit right in the middle between your DMS, your CRM, maybe some third-party data, and allow you to manipulate the data and inventory before it goes out to your marketing solutions. So what problems are we going to fix? Should be at the bottom there. We focus on what we call the 3 M's: management, marketing, and merchandising. So for management, this is reducing the amount of data we have to input again and again. And then for merchandising, we're focusing on what the customer actually finds valuable. And then for the marketing, we're enabling real-time communication for all of your marketing channels. That'll take us into our application marketplace where we can actually extend upon our own API. We all recognize this one, and the video is not going to play. So a floating car and background removal, you can actually move around your vehicle in real time and then save it, and it reflects on the website instantly. For generative descriptions, we've seen this Ford F-150 Lightning has a steering wheel or wheels or a clock. AI takes care of all this, focuses on the elements that are very, very valuable to the customer, as well as we even took it one step further and actually accommodate the weather for your local dealership. And so if it's hot in Phoenix, there's no reason to be talking about heated seats. We match that with ventilated seats or a hard tonneau cover. We're video friendly. We're very video heavy, actually. We sync up with all the inventory catalogs from Facebook to Snapchat to Google, and you can actually inject these videos inside of those catalogs, so there's no more static images on your Facebook carousels. You can send your inventory every hour, not once a day, every hour. And your entire team can use the mobile application to upload videos. We love seeing sales guys actually upload a walk-around video. They appear on our website solution, or they actually pop up in your inventory catalog on Facebook. We're also very, very third-party friendly. So we provide an OAuth 2.0 logging interface, so other vendors can actually partner with us and pull in your inventory instantly. And for the future, we're actually also focusing on what we call an MCP server that's just recently released for AI systems. So if you're using ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, you'll be able to actually interface directly with your inventory from the AI systems. Anyways, I can't wait to show you guys what the automotive industry has been missing. And yeah, autoZnetwork.
Boom, came in under time. Thank you so much. All right, now you get grilled. I'm going to kick off the questioning. Seems like you're doing a lot of stuff with the inventory. What sets you apart from kind of like the inventory management system and in the way that we know it with like, you know, a VinQ or a vAuto or things like that, where you're aggregating and syndicating inventory?
Yeah.
What's the differentiator there?
We focus on the merchandising. So those systems, you know, they're a little bit legacy at the moment. We focus on being able to add more data to your vehicle. And also it's real time. So if you know anything about those platforms, they send out once every 24 hours. You might get them down to once every 4 hours. This is one central location for you to be able to manage all that data. And it's very, very useful for multi-location. One record for one vehicle, no matter how many locations you switch between. If you're a dealer group, you can actually pass them between, and you don't have to re-input data. So,
Colin,
yes?
I've been working with startups for a really long time,
Yeah.
and I want to hear your origin story. What led you to believe that this was a problem that you needed to solve?
Yeah, so I actually worked in an independent dealership in Seattle, Washington area. I was the 9th employee. We started on a gravel lot and grew to 15 locations over the course of 10 years. We were kind of the CarMax model. I am an organization, and I have multiple locations, and I share that inventory between the locations. So it's a huge problem with the software that's created currently because it's built for a franchise-only model where you are just one location, and moving inventory between those locations is very, very cumbersome. So it started with a simple need of just location information, but then blossomed into let's do better merchandising. Let's be able to sell the car online easier.
So you walk into a dealership and they know nothing about you. What is that elevator pitch? I kind of didn't get that in your pitch. Like you sit down, how do you get that guy's attention?
Are you having trouble moving your vehicles between locations, and are you able to merchandise them? Because right now you're going to be limited to just one description field in every single inventory control system. So we give you dynamic attributes. If you've got a lift kit on a 2025 F-150, you can't really merchandise that inside vAuto. You can hit the cheese button and actually just dump that into a description field. But with ours, you can actually map that perfectly. It appears on the website as a filter for your vehicle. It's searchable, And then you can also map those to all of your third parties as well.
From a marketing syndication standpoint, you had, obviously you don't have a ton of time, but you had mentioned syndicating specific things like ventilated seats when it's cold. What platforms do you syndicate to as far as consumer advertising besides just websites?
So all of the major third parties. So we can format everything in whatever format they need. So we map everything to Car Gurus, Cars.com, Auto Trader. We're essentially a HomeNet replacement. With this solution, you no longer need HomeNet. And if you're doing appraisals and valuations, that's also baked into our solution as well. So if you wanted to ditch Viato, you're able to do that as well. So it depends on, it's kind of a la carte. If you want to continue to use Viato, you don't have to, but then you can cancel like certain parts of their plan, and then you can send out everything through AutoZnetwork. We haven't found a third party we can't supply yet, so I guess that's a good sign.
Regarding like Google and Facebook syndication, you had mentioned a Facebook carousel.
Yeah.
Do you syndicate to Performance Max or on the Google side, or Amazon ads? Where do you go?
All the above. So Google, Snapchat, Pinterest, Facebook. Gosh, I can't remember. There's 8 of them. So yeah, we're directly integrated and send those every single hour as well. So your inventory is very, very up to date. The Facebook catalog, right now, a lot of them are just kind of run-of-the-mill. Your first angle shot is everything in your carousel. You can upload up to 20 photos inside your Facebook catalog. People don't realize that. You can actually upload up to 20 videos inside your Facebook catalog. So it gives you a lot more bang for your buck when you're actually spending money in those platforms, because there's more variation. So
if an inventory source can accept like trigger-based webhooks, are you able to supply those in for real time instead of syndication by hour?
Correct, yes. So we've got webhooks for every event that happens in the system, whether that's a new user was added, whether its inventory has changed its price. Any attribute with an inventory, we send a webhook to whatever person or whatever system we want. And so you're able to, do exactly that. So combined with the OAuth 2.0, you're essentially able to say, hey, Mr. Dealer, you signed up, he OAuths, and now you've authenticated webhooks, so you can keep everything in sync automatically. So,
Who do you consider to be your competitor, number one competitor, and why are they number one?
I'd say HomeNet right now, because they are, no one could really fathom that someone else would start sending out syndications like this. And so it's actually been a surprise to me. I thought it would be somebody else, but HomeNet has a stronghold on the market, but I'm looking to give them a run for the money. So.
How difficult is the setup process for the dealer?
For the dealer, pretty easy actually. We integrate with the major DMSs and then use Dealer Vault as a backup if we're not currently integrated with it. So we pull in the feed from the DMS, and the most we look at is, I guess the hardest part would be user emails, a list of users. And then setting their permissions. So if you don't want the lot tech to be able to change pricing or something like that, that's something you can do. But we do really like when dealerships put their entire customer or employee base on the platform. Our support offers a chat widget inside the application and inside the desktop application as well. We get photographers sending us a chat message saying, hey, how do I do this? How do I do this? So it's really cool to see that it's not just like the sales manager or GM being the point of contact for our solution. It's the entire company is enabled. So it's actually quite easy. I'm knock on wood.
Awesome. Colin, thank you so much. Give it up for Colin. If you all will jump in they've got this little phone app. We thought we'd be fancy. And so they got this little phone app. You've got a poll in your app. If you click on this agenda item and jump in that poll, you can type in your answer. We're going to average those across the whole thing. I think it's like a multi-select, so you can select which number. They can select. You can do decimal points, anything 1 through 5. Just don't give me 5.3 and don't give me 0.8 or something like that. Don't be that mean to Colin. You know what I mean? Colin, thank you so much. You can hand me that and hand me that. Give him another round of applause. We are bringing up next John with DriveitAway. Come on up here, man. Let's go. I don't have any walk-up music for you. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
You didn't say my last name because that would take 3 minutes, right?
I didn't want to say that, yes. Cool. Did everybody good on the poll? Is it in there? It was good? Everyone thumbs up me? Good. Thank you. Awesome. John, 3 minutes. Let's roll.
All right, can we get our slides up there? How's that? How's that working? All right. Good morning. Let's have some fun here. John Pasamato from DriveitAway. I had slides. They're not up there. They had Rocky on them because I'm used to getting my face beat in. But I had an idea. I have an idea to bring all transportation back to the dealership. Okay. When I was a dealer way back in the old days, dealers did do long-term, short-term rental. They did everything out there. And then the rise of the Big E happened, and they came in and said, you know, it was cumbersome. It was difficult. In the old days, you didn't have technology to do this. Dealers were overfleeted or underfleeted. It took personnel. They got out of it. The Big E gladly came in and said, we can handle this for you. By the way, we sell cars too. Don't worry about that. And we do small fleets too. And what we want to do with our technology, right, is bring it back inside the store. Everything's app-driven. Everything's easy. Literally, the dealer only hands over the keys. Now, we've been doing this a little while. Our technology is well vetted inside dealerships. I really wish I had slides, but anyway.
Hey, just stop for a second, John. We'll get
okay.
the slides. I'll give you more time.
Yeah, I got more time now. See, that was a clever way to do that. There you go. All right. Now, can we start from the beginning?
Yeah, start over.
Yeah. All right. Man, I got extra time. It was very clever of me. Well, I didn't even do it. See, dumb luck is good. All right, fighting to bring it all back to the dealership. There's me. There's that palooka that gets hit in the head. This is from Philadelphia, right? You know this. We're having fun. Vision is to bring everything back to the store and all customers back to the store, right? You need a car for an hour, a day, a month, 6 months, commercial customer with no credit. You should all be handling that inside the dealership. That's the way it was in the old days. But again, like I said, substantial overhead, everything was done by hand. It became a loss, and that's when Big E came in. There's the hit, hey, we can take care of everything for you, don't worry about it. By the way, we'll buy the cars on a subcode and even sell them back to you at auction, right, from the usage payments that your customers gave us. Right? Somehow that doesn't make sense anymore. Let me give you a fact. Some dealers say, hey, look, I have no call for subscriptions or long-term rentals in my area. It doesn't work. 30% of a local rental company's business comes from long-term rentals or /subscriptions. There is an Avis budget dealer in Harrisburg that has 800 subscriptions. Not a big market. We believe that belongs back into the dealership. Here's the big reveal for right now. DriveitAway. We're the technology. We're the operator. We're everything inside a dealership. But we now got a big, gigantic partner. Free2Move, which is a subsidiary of Stellantis, right? 45,000 cars on rental in Europe. They're partnering with us to go into the store to do an entire package now, right? Everything. Again, from that subscription down to the rental, everything in between, right? This is the knockout punch. You can offer your customer that doesn't have any credit, they can drive a car away. Again, this is a rental inside an app, so we don't need blue ink signatures. So this is true digital marketing, where in most states you can't do that, right? Flexible leases, short-term rentals, even take over your loaner cars, right? Who likes to operate loaner cars? You have to, but who wants to take that financial risk? Don't worry about this slide. It's very easy. We buy the car from you. We put it out. It's your customer. We are not dealers. We don't sell cars. You sell cars. We are a small public company, by the way, over the counter, D-Way, D-W-A-Y. We like to say, let us show you D-Way. Here's the deal, right? We manage everything. We take responsibility for the monthly payments. We take responsibility for the residual on the back end. Although after 6 months, you can buy the car at any time. You can mark to market. You can actually list it for sale, right? It's like inventory that pays, right? All you really do is meet and greet, talk to the customer, hand over the customer, right? Get them to be your customer. Again, no risks, no costs, no overhead. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, it is absolutely true. You can close prospects now that don't want or are not able to buy a car today, right? 18 to 34-year-olds, lowest percentage in history are buying new cars right now, 9.2% according to S&P Mobility, right? A lot of that is affordability, but some of that is just no commitment. Now you can handle those customers. Somebody comes in, doesn't have the down payment, doesn't have the credit. You turn them over to a buy here, pay here lot, you don't have to do that anymore. You can put them in one of our cars and they drive it away. We're only looking at income to payment ratio, right? How about that customer you want to close today, but they ordered a vehicle? You want their trade, they want to sell you the trade, right? But it might be 2-3 months. Put them in one of our cars. How about small commercial accounts? Here's the killer app again. They need a truck.
And time. All right. Hopefully, we'll get to your questions. I gave you extra time too. I gave you a full 3 minutes back. My first question is: so it sounds like there's multiple ways to get in this car. You said rental, lease, short-term rental, short-term lease. Can you be a bit like? Is it a loaner program or is it a lease to a consumer program?
What
Or
we
is
like
a
to
little
call
bit
it
of
flexible lease, right? It really doesn't matter whether someone wants a vehicle for an hour or 6 months or 9 months, right? I mean, legally it's a rental program because it's not a Regulation M lease, right? But to the customer, it's turnkey. They really don't know what the difference is between a lease and a rental and anything. All they know is now they have a car. If they have no credit, they have a car. If they have no down payment, they have a car. If it's a commercial use and they need trucks for 6 months of the year and not another 6 months, now they come to the dealership, not to the outside rental company.
Are you the technology layer only, or are you actually assuming some of the risk?
This is our unique nature. We started as simply the technology layer, and then we took over everything. Because what we found is that the dealer really doesn't want to operate this. They want the benefits of the sale, they want the benefits of the customer. So we take over payment, we take over the risk for the usage payments, we take over the risk for the residual, although we do give the right to the dealer to buy the vehicle back at any time.
So, John, when somebody leases, rents one of these, or takes possession of one of these, who owns the car during that term?
We own the car on a fleet lease from Free2Move. And again, the Free2Move layer now lets us scale dramatically. One of the pushbacks I've had from a very large dealer and large dealers is, look, this is great, but I don't want to do this for 10 cars a month or 15 cars a month. I want to do it for 50 or 100. If I'm going to advertise this, I see a big market, I'm growing my market share. Now we have the wherewithal to do that.
Follow up, how is the pricing on that car set when you buy it from the dealer?
Dealer sets the markup. It's a fleet sale, right? So they set the markup. We buy the car. Again, we can resell it back to the dealer at any time. What typically happens, though, in a lot of retail commercial, we've been doing this a while, 30% of our drivers end up buying the vehicle. So we give them the benefit of the write-down of the usage payment, but that sale goes through the dealership.
And one other question on that is when the user takes possession of the car, do they put insurance on it, or is that in the package?
They put insurance on it. Right? In that case, it's sort of like a lease. It's bring your own insurance. We have contingent liability insurance, but what we found is that fleet insurance just doesn't work, right? For consumers, because you're either too high or too low. So they're the primary insurance, as if it was a rental, even though this is technically a flexible lease, or we call it a flexible lease.
How does the dealer make money on this besides the sale of the fleet vehicles? And what is the interaction between the consumer and the dealer after?
Okay, so the consumer's always the dealer's customer. We're not a dealer at all, right? We're facilitating it. So that's why we say the meet and greet is with the dealer. The dealer sells the fleet unit, at their markup. They also have first access to the used unit at any time after 6 months, right? They'll make the sale. If the person buys the used vehicle, we pay a small commission on the fleet lease. We pay a commission on the daily rental. And again, we can take over the loaners as well, so there's no financial responsibility for the dealer there. They make some money on that.
What are the objections you get from the dealer? Give me kind of in rank order. Biggest objection you get, and then the next couple.
Okay, first one is I had rental 20 years ago. It was cumbersome. I lost money. I don't want to operate that business. Our response is that's why we're operating it, right? We're the technology layer and we're the operator. Second is this is complicated. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to devote personnel to it. Our answer is, look, all you do is meet and greet the customer and hand over the keys. Make sure that person is the person that we're talking about. But we're operating ourselves remotely all over the country without a physical facility. So really, this can be done inside the service department, right? If you need to turn over the keys. The third is, ironically enough, what I mentioned, that some of the larger dealers are saying, this is great, but to do 5 cars a month isn't worth my time. If I'm going to advertise this, I'm going to advertise this full, right? You got to be able to do 50 or 100 a month. And honestly, as a startup, we couldn't say we could until we partnered with Free2Move. That's the dynamic thing announced today. With Free2Move's backing, we can handle that. And we actually had one of the largest chains in the country, one of the largest dealerships, say, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this real. I'm going to use this, and this is important. I'm going to use this as a hook to get lots of people in. Because some people are going to come in for that, and they're going to want a conventional sale or a lease, right? Remember, this is more expensive than a conventional sale or a lease.
What's the average expense difference? Like, let's just say, I don't know, average new car payment per month right now is $734, I think. What does this bump the average for a consumer to?
It bumps it up. So if somebody's comparing price, they're going to buy it's maybe $100, $150, $200 more, but it's not dramatically so. If you remember subscriptions from 3 or 4 years ago when the OEMs came in, they had a completely different vision of, hey, we're going to switch vehicles around and everything, and that caused a lot of expense. That was double. This is a few $100s more. So a dealer's not going to lose a sale if somebody wants to buy and looking at price. They're going to gain someone who, hey, I want that flexibility, or right now we're in some really interesting times. I just don't want to put money out right now, right, on a long-term financial commitment.
Do you support Uber and Lyft driver purchases?
We used to. We learned a lot. Like I said, I got my head beat in 400 times, and eventually you get to learn stuff. The answer to that is no. You need a W-2, a full-time, a real full-time job. If you do this on the side on the weekends, that's okay. But what we found is gig drivers destroy cars. And we want to sell cars, right? We don't want to destroy them. So full-time gig, no. Part-time gig, it slips in there. But really, and this too, we keep track of the miles. Everything is done with telematics. We know where the car is. We can do ignition shut-off. We get payments. And we know if somebody's playing around with the system by the number of miles, and it will be really prohibitive. That's where the price really goes up. If you drive a normal number of miles, you're going to pay $100, $150, $200 delta higher than when you would. If you're driving gig, you're going to go through the moon. And that's specifically to discourage, right, a lot of driving on these cars.
The Free2Move agreement is really key for you, right?
Absolutely.
So how binding is that? Is it exclusive? What kind of terms do you have on that deal? As much as you can share in front of an audience.
Well, I can't share a lot. Garrett from Free2Move is sitting right there. You could you do a little private thing. Okay. The point is, we're in there. This is a very synergistic relationship because Free2Move is very large. They have the wherewithal, obviously, to handle a lot. And we're really the application layer between that and the customer. And between us, we offer turnkey to the dealer. Right? We're both vital to the relationship. And there really is not another company like us right now, not to say there couldn't be. But we act really swiftly. Like I said, we've gotten our head beat in so many times. We learned a few things, right? And we're in the market today.
Awesome. I'm going to shut down the questions at that point to move to the next. Do yourself a favor, jump in the app real quick. Make sure you get that thing measured up, put in your score. These guys are going to put in their score for this company. I promise by the end of this, we'll have a nice score up top. So score that. Give John a big round of applause. And you can hand that mic off and that clicker off as you go through. All right, we have one more. We got about 15 minutes left. Thanks for committing to this. We've got the last but not least. We got Monica up here with Toma. I know. Do you say Toma AI or you just say Toma?
Toma.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Everybody good? Thumbs up. I get a couple thumbs up. They did the thing. You got the score. Scores are in, locked and loaded, ready to go. Click forward a couple more. Click forward. Double check. Should be there. Other way. There we go. One more. There you are. Awesome. Sounds good. I've got 3 minutes on the clock. Let's hit it.
All right. My name is Monik, and I'm the founder and CEO of Toma. And we build AI agents for dealerships, and this is our story. So last year, we started working on an AI voice product for hospitals, and I get a call from a dealer in Oklahoma who says, I want it. And we're like, okay, what's going on? So he says, I've cycled through 4 AI solutions for answering phone calls. It's been a complete disaster. I saw your demo, it's good. I want to use it. And I said, okay, all right, that sounds good, but what's going on? Why is this a big problem? And then when I tell him we're from San Francisco and we're engineers, he roasts us for 30 minutes. And then he gets into the problems that are actually happening, which is ever since he turned on the AI, customers are getting frustrated nonstop. They're getting thrown into these loops of conversation, and then it's giving wrong information. So it promised a loaner to a customer who got a car in for an oil change, and then he threatened to shoot someone at the store. So there's he called it the wall of shame basically. So all these Google reviews nonstop about every single way the AI failed. So we say, okay, cool, that sounds interesting. We'll come by and look at it. So we get on a plane and we go to Oklahoma. Now over there, we spend, so we didn't know that, but he had a plan in his mind. So he put us through an exhaustive boot camp, basically. First week, we work in the express shop. So we get a lot of grease on our hands. Next week, he says, all right, talk to every person. He had 7 stores. He talk to every single person in every store. So we did 400 interviews in that span of time. And finally, he says, all right, go now work at the BDC, answer the calls. So every third call, I look behind, I'm like, what are you supposed to do here? Those are the kind of questions that we're asking again and again. And that's when we realize how complex of an operation this is, and how much it involves context and training and all sorts of problems. So now we're thinking, okay, so this is a thankless job, and you get jaded over time because you are trying to delight the customer, but you get kicked all the time. So what do you do? How do you solve this problem? And now we're thinking about it, and we're like, oh, something that we learned in Silicon Valley will finally help, which is reinforcement learning. It's an AI technique that you can use to train models. The idea is simple. It's like when you learn to drive a car, you kind of pick it up by yourself, but you have an instructor who's nudging you on how to get better. And you do that, and once you're good, you don't need an instructor. So that's the same thing with AI and Toma. And Toma learns from your existing calls, good, bad, ugly, gets really good. And at one point, once it's passed the training, it delights customers. And the evidence is that we've booked $25 million worth of service revenue for our customers, and we've handled over 1 million interactions on the phone, just completely with AI, no human involved. And finally, our customers absolutely love us. They rave about us. They've given us awards. I carried this one, which is the Vendor of the Year, which is from a top 150 group. Our plan is to take this technology and apply it to other departments, which is sales, and then other channels like web, SMS, and so on.
Thank you so much. That's the end of your time. Awesome. I'm going to start. There are a plethora of companies that have been coming out specifically around service-based AI models. How do you feel you're being set apart from what else is being created? Because I mean, if I can count one, I can count 7 or 8 over the last few years, and everybody's developing with AI. How what's the differentiator?
Yeah, I think the big difference is, which I went over briefly, which was the technology. But what it gives you is that each dealership is like a fingerprint. The way you operate it is very different. It's not like saying I have one AI that'll work everywhere. So how do you really customize it and get it to work in that setting, right? The tone, the voice, what offers you have, how do you usually deal with this situation, and what about that? We let you customize all of it to the store, and that's why it succeeds. That is really the point of difference between you taking, it's like saying, hey, is there one model Honda store that will work across every demographic you have in the country? Hell no, right? And that's the same for AI tools as well. How much do they give you control, and then how much can you customize, and does it actually do what you asked it to do? So those two things.
So what you didn't mention, just for the group, these guys just got an investment from Andreessen. Andreessen, you know that name, one of the best VCs in the world. So they don't come into auto very much. So congrats on that. You should have mentioned that for sure. Tell me about your large language model. Are you with your LLM? Have you chosen one horse, or are you bouncing around between different models? What are you doing?
Yeah. So I think the question is, which model will you pick? The thing is, the models change every day. We pick the best one. And even for a certain task, you can break down the task into 5 parts, something about matching opcodes, when the customer is asking, you could use a different model as opposed to responding to them. So we don't stick to any specific model. We have benchmarking and a lot of validation testing on our end, and then it dynamically switches and uses whatever's best for that specific task. So, because that's the way to go. We want to bring you the best technology. If we get buried into, let's just use OpenAI, and tomorrow Google does something 10x better, you're left out, right? So how do we get you to the best thing? We just do the testing.
So you're real-time model switching?
Yeah, exactly.
So congratulations on
Thank you.
Andreessen. That's huge.
Thank you.
I just looked at everything differently. So my question for you is, you say customize based on the dealership.
Correct.
Do you integrate with other systems in the dealership? And is there any plan? Because I've heard of 7 or 8 as well, maybe even more. There's a lot of companies out there doing this. Can you personalize it? Can you integrate with the data and create some kind of personalization so that the AI will know more about the customer?
Yeah, exactly. So we integrate with a lot of schedulers. I would say we cover like 80-90% of the market with that. And same with like DMSs as well. We can push data, both live, real time. If you call like 2 dealers, like even Toyota of Santa Monica and Toyota of Hollywood, they'll sound completely different. And they're like 3 miles apart, same make. That's because we've actually tailored it to that specific store based on how they ran it before and what they want to do. So, for example, like it'll greet you with like, hey, this is Beth. Like, it'll just straight open with that. And it already knows like your last 10 phone calls, for example, or your text conversations. So it picks up back. It's like, hey, I'm calling to book, a service. And it's like, oh, is it about that one that you mentioned last time? Or something that you didn't have. So these are like interactions that weren't even possible before with humans. Like, it's like a bar you cannot cross.
So as dealers, we like to try new technology and then not understand how to work it and then kill it really fast.
Yeah.
So I think we've all been there.
So much honesty.
We as an industry, I'm not calling myself out personally. What hurdles do you see on implementation, and how do you define success in the first 90 days?
So that's interesting because you say that. Initially, onboarding was like, we'll just go live in 1 day, and then
all right, let's hear it for Space
and then there's
Auto.
like fire everywhere, right? So the solution to that is you treat it more like
All right, so
actually
judges,
like an
here's your chance
employee
to put in your
because
rating
you
there.
have.
Has everyone
is that
had a
crosstalk?
chance to put in your rating? Yes, I see some nods. I see some don't.
How is
cares.
that even happening?
If you're eager to rate me, go
I'm gonna
for
do
it.
something a little bit different
But,
a few extra minutes.
That's wild. It's been like
Is
45
there a
minutes and then it
question
just...
from
Sorry
the
about that.
audience?
Keep going. We'll
that
try
yeah.
and get that
should
shut
have
down,
been
won't we?
asked.
Yeah, I
we
think-
go.
Wasn't.
Yeah, what we've
you
done
like
is the
to
onboarding.
hear
It's
the
like
answer
when you have a new employee, how long does it take for them to actually the best employee you've ever hired? How long did it take for you to get the results? Like, do you see it in like 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, 15 days? Like, it's similar to that, right? So that it's a mindset change with these AI tools because you have to put in some effort. And the people who like to put in more effort are customizing it more. And sometimes if you don't want to put it, that's probably how you run the store, right? Like you kind of like go for it and then you tweak it as time goes by. So it's the dealer's preference and we map to it. So we give you the options to change and not. So yeah, first 90 days, like you'll start seeing value in like 15 days. But if you have a very customized BDC operation, you probably need to put in more effort because that's what you do with new employees.
What percentage of your appointments and interactions do you see after the business is closed?
So I would say like 10% for service, but for sales, like we recently started doing sales, that is much higher, which I feel like people just get a drink at 8 p.m. and they're like, all right, I want this. So maybe that's why, I don't know.
So I've got to go back to the competition question because it's serious, right? Like it's hand-to-hand combat right now with, you got Stella, you got Pam, you got Numa. Like they're gobbling up market share for sure right now. How do you differentiate, but be very specific in your answer, between those three?
Yeah. I think as much as people try things quickly, as mentioned, they also churn off of that once it doesn't work. And the difference is that I think the whole thesis here is like, we give you the tools to run the business the way you want. And we give you a lot of knobs and dials and we tweak them, tune them for you automatically at times. But that is the reason for success. Like the customer is the final person who's liking the interaction or not. And our experience is way more delightful. And like our customers can attest to that. I mean, it's like, what's the difference between a good employee and a bad employee, right? It's like a good employee is amazing, it'll change your life. So once you put it on, like the amount of call volume that you get for like specific tasks is like much, much lower. So we use a metric called resolution rate. And our resolution rates, which means if a call comes in, what are the odds of you actually solving it without involving a human, is like as high as 75%, which none of these other companies can come close to. And that's because of personalization and
That's a stat you should find out of the other companies, and you should use that stat because
I don't know if they measure that even.
How
'Cause,
many
you know,
dealerships are you in now?
Well, enough to keep 10 people really, really busy on weekends.
Weekends, I love it. All right, awesome. We're come to the close. Do me a favor, jump in the app, commit to this last one, rate that. I'll give it a few seconds because the minute you rate it, then that poll will close. I've got Nathan in the background updating in real. Actually, I've got Miles in the background updating real time. As soon as we get it, Miles, are we going to get a screenshot at the end of this slide? No. Oh, I can tell you the score. I have it sitting right here. Once you put you tell me when the audience score is in there, and I'm going to tell them when this thing is final. Let's see. Have you guys put your score in? Let's see where we're at. You in? You in? Do we have? Is the audience score? Did you also? Is everybody thumbs up? Can I get a? Let's see. Did you push it? Can I get a drum roll? You're not in, Nathan? And the winner of Pitch Tank Studio 1 with a 4.3525 average score is Toma. Congratulations. Hey, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the audience for participating. Thank these judges.